And what is up, Pewter Peeps? Welcome into what is unfortunately the final postseason episode of the Pewtercast postgame here, as the Buccaneers are officially out of the playoffs. There will be a new Super Bowl champion this year after rallying from down 27-3 in the third quarter to tie up the game against the Los Angeles Rams. They fall 30-27. I am Steve Carney, joined as always by Ren Daxon. Ren, before we get into everything, I always like to ask you your overall opinions, but the first question I have for you is what did your pulse rate get to in that last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter? Because I know I tweeted I had to check mine after the ball came out at the 2-minute warning and the Bucs got the ball back with the chance to tie the game. And I was at 112 just sitting on my couch.
Yeah, I don't have one of those, so I don't know. I almost tweeted out when the Rams scored in the third, like, that's it, game over. Like, but of course you have to wait till the end. But, I mean, I wasn't seeing it. The offense wasn't doing anything. They weren't doing anything to protect Brady, to keep him upright. And lo and behold, as soon as they went max protect, which they should have started the game with, they were able to move the ball and then, relying heavily on Mike Evans, no matter who covered him. Hey, number one wide receiver, let's try that out for a little bit. But, I don't know. I was sick to my stomach, like, with butterflies and nerves, through that fourth quarter. It was like, okay, we're down 14 in the very first play, the strip sack, and the Rams get the ball, and then the next play, like, the hike it over Stafford's head, we get it back. I mean, that was like that was a strip sack that netted 30 yards. That's kind of what it was. It was just, I mean, there's going to be a lot to talk about and pick on in this thing. Or, we got a super chat I'll pull up in a minute from Kyle, and people are asking why the blitz and all that kind of stuff, and we'll get into all that. But I thought that, again, Bowles' game plan early was not the one we needed. Shifted to it in the second half. It was helped out a little bit because the Rams started. When Sean McVay gets the lead, he tries to bleed the clock. That's sort of his style. That's why he's like, he was like 30 or 60, whatever the hell he was. He finally lost one, but go live with the lead in the halftime, he'd win, because when he gets ahead, he starts to run the ball and bleed the clock out, and you only end up getting like 5 possessions in the second half. Yeah. So, I thought sort of the game was made it a lot harder in the beginning because of the way the offense, BA talked about just like 2 weeks ago. Like, we always seem to play a lot better when we come out, in our hurry up, and then they didn't do it till halfway through the second quarter and got them their first points. It was just weird, It was a bad decision making, and when we had no foo on and he's talking about I want the Rams, and I get it. Like, I get where he's coming from. But I said, like, Sean McVay has proven to be able to out-scheme the Bucs offensively and defensively. Just has. And he did it again. Let's not, if the Bucs would have won this game, they would not have won the game. The Rams would have lost this game. Like, they tried to give that game away. Yep. And then, it's not the blitz. It was Winfield, man, who I thought, didn't didn't show up a lot. Sean Murphy-Bunting cannot
that play twice got burned by the Bucs safeties. Mike Edwards in the first quarter when Kupp went for 70 yards in the touchdown, and then Antoine Winfield. So both safeties, other than Jordan, I know they play three safeties, but Jordan Whitehead is usually down in the box.
Yeah, they don't play them all at the same time. Not necessarily. Yeah.
But Jordan Whitehead you don't normally see back there. He's usually down in the box. The two safeties that you do see back there, both Antoine Winfield and Mike Edwards, both of them got burned by Cooper Kupp on that play. At different points during the game.
Yeah, but Winfield, that was like the end of the half in the Green Bay game, with King. Like that's the one thing you cannot do, and he just let him run right by him. Like just let him run right by him, and it's. I haven't seen one person in the chat call out Winfield. They're all saying it was Bowles' blitz. I was saying once it became evident the Rams couldn't run the ball, like they're not going to win this game by running the ball. I was like, you should be blitzing 5 guys every single play.
Yep.
Every single play. Because we were getting 0 pressure in the first half whatsoever. I mean, none. Stafford had all day long to throw. And if you got beat over the top once or twice, so be it. You should have done what they did. I was feeling they should have done last year. Play too high. Don't let you beat them over the top. Play sort of like a mesh man or mesh zone, depending on where you are down in distance, underneath, and bring 5 and just do that and make them beat you. And I don't think it would have happened. But, again, it's easy for me to say. But, yeah, it was just I can't believe we had a chance to win it. Like, I'm like, are they going to go for 2? Should they go for 2? And they didn't.
Go for 2.
And then I'm like, okay, so now we're going to overtime. I just cannot believe Winfield just let him run right by him. He let him just run right by him.
Yeah, and you have to know that's Cooper freaking Kupp.
It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter, but it's Cooper. But you should know who the receivers on.
It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit if it was freaking me. Like, you don't let somebody. You're the last line of defense. You know what the play call is. You know that they're blitzing. I think they sent 6. He just let him run right by. It doesn't matter if it's Cooper. I don't care if it's Jerry Rice. It really doesn't matter. Like, that's the one thing you cannot do, and he did. But again, he's not really the reason we lost the game. It's only it's sort of all the the offensive play calling. Again, not going max protect early was just sort of I didn't understand it at all. It's like they were so hell bent on we can't win this game without Gronk out in the pattern. That we can't keep him in, and then once they started chipping with Fournette on one side, and Gronk helping Wells on the other side, started moving the ball and started scoring. So just out-coached again, out-schemed, and the Rams, did everything they could to let the Bucs back in it. We almost had our own, miracle in the Meadowlands, or what's the one in Nashville? Miracle in Miracle City. Music City Miracle.
The Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah, we almost had our own because that we did not deserve to win that game, but we almost did. But it was this was a game that I haven't felt sort of like this quote unquote alive, for a Bucs game in a while. And this was it. And I thought everything sort of, all the comments, all the talk, all the sort of we're this on defense and we're that on offense. Like, this was it. Like, this was the put up or shut up game. Yeah. And for really most of the game, but and again, wasn't for the Rams shooting themselves 0 foot. Like we got it blown out of the building. We really did.
Yeah, I mean that building was as quiet as I think it's been in at least 2 or 3 years. At least since BA and Brady came, I don't think I've ever heard Raymond James Stadium that quiet. When it's 27-3, you're just going, you're going. I can't believe, and that's when it's like I start thinking, and I tweeted it out, and I have no problem saying it. It comes to a point you brought all 22 starters back from a team that won the Super Bowl, and you get beaten in the divisional round. That's a failure. That's a failure of the season to me. Because and it's a failure because of what happened during the regular season. You get swept by the Saints again, including getting shut out at home. and
But
then
that didn't matter.
and then you lose to the Washington football team. No, but I'm saying, no, like people will go, oh, you're just calling it a failure because you didn't get back to the Super Bowl. And
Why are you calling it a failure? Because the Saints lost is like not getting the number 1 playoff spot didn't matter because Green Bay lost. It had to go. It was coming through Tampa.
No, I mean the reason the season is a failure is you did not get back to where we expected. They didn't get back to where I expected them to be.
So you think it's a failure? So you're saying it's the season of failure because they didn't get back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you bring all 22 starters back from a team that won the Super Bowl, you got to at least have a shot at getting back to it.
They did. It's called making the playoffs.
No, well, making the conference championship game.
Oh, now it's down to the conference championship game. I feel like it's gone from winning the Super Bowl to going to the Super Bowl. Now it's getting to the conference championship game. So if they would have beat if they would have beat who the hell we just played, the Rams, and then got blown out at home by the 49ers, it would not have been a losing season.
I would not have called the season a failure.
All right. Well, I mean, the way I look at it, and I understand what you're saying. Like if you're the Eagles and you make the playoffs, and that, even if you get blown out in the game, which they did, like you can say that season's not a failure. Now we had higher expectations because we had a better team, but I kind of look at it like if you're expected to make the playoffs and you do, then I don't really think that, it's just too hard. And there's too many minutiae, too many things going around. Like if Worst played in this game, it was a completely different game. I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Rams had their own injuries, but really, again, like I think it was the offense, whoever created the game plan's fault that they moved too slow to going max protect, and they didn't do it till like halfway through the third. So. Anyway, but I hear you, man. I
just laugh because I hear you saying, well, it's so hard, and who else said it was hard? Tom Jones. Because I put it out and he's like, failure. That's a really strong word. He's like, sports are hard. I'm like, no shit, they're hard. That's why they get paid all that money. If it was easy, I'd be doing it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had Tom Jones react to any one of my tweets.
Well, I've known Tom forever, so.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah.
Oh, so how many key fobs are you taking away?
Oh, season's over. It doesn't matter.
Taking them away, all of them?
Oh, they're all going away. There's going to be a new team next year.
All your key fobs are done.
All the key fobs are gone.
All right. Well, we got Richard waiting. How about we bring him in before we do it.
Before we get Richard in. Let's get BetUS out of the way. Of course, the PeterCast is presented by BetUS.com, the longest-running online place where you can put your bets in. Ren has always talked about how well he has done. I think he's up like $2.5 million this year.
I took a beating last week. I'm down to 2.2.
$2.2 million. I took the Bengals yesterday, so I was very, very happy. I thought that the Titans would win but not cover. Bengals ended up winning outright. Made me a very happy camper yesterday. So you can definitely. So I'm up on the week as well because I didn't bet this game. I didn't bet the Bucs game. I was like, nope, I'm not touching this one. But you can be a part of that as well with our friends at BetUS.com. For 27 years, BetUS has been paying off all of their winners. And, of course, they go through everything right now. Of course, the NFL playoffs right now in full swing, the NBA and the NHL regular season. We've got the PGA getting started back up as well. You can bet on UFC fights like the one from last night. Hopefully you took Francis Ngannou winning that fight. You can be in good spots. And, of course, Rent's favorite, the ponies. You can bet the ponies when they're up. So you can get through all of that and get a little bit of extra scratch thanks to our friends at BetUS.com and us here at the PeterCast. If you go to BetUS.com and you put in the promo code PewterC125, never mind all of the
finger smudges and halo ring.
Yeah, and the halo ring on. I've got 3 lights now, so
nice.
I got a 3 light set. That's why my face is so pale right now. But again, Pewter the letter C and the number 125 and get a 125% sign-up bonus. So if you go to betus.com and enter that promo code, deposit $100, you get an extra $125 in bonus, and so you're playing with $225 for only $100. It's awesome. It is a great way. They've got great information there, so you can make the most well-informed choices as well at betus.com. You bet, you win, you get paid with betus.com. And again, it is the best way to support the Pewtercast is to go to betus.com.
For bringing Rich, I'm going to go ahead and address this. There seems to be quite a few of you there in chat about the Blitz. If you watch the game, okay. If you watch the game, I'm trying to be snarky here. The Bucs defense, pass defense, didn't stop the Rams all game. The Rams only punted twice on 2 3-and-outs. Every other time they stopped them was a turnover. I don't really consider that pass defense because none of them were interceptions. They lost 4 fumbles. So that was the problem. And you saw the first time, there was an incomplete pass. Or no, Stafford tried to run up the middle on a QB draw. Then Kupp does a wiggle waggle. Sean Murphy-Bunting falls down. He's wide open. So if they didn't do something like bring the blitz, they were going to get in range to kick a field goal probably because they had not stopped them all game. Like they had crossers and digs open between the 7 and 15 yards all game long. And Stafford was
always open.
Everybody was always open. Everybody was. There wasn't any pass breakups by the Bucs. They weren't even close to him. Like Stafford did a great job finding the one-on-one guy, or it was schemed up that way, and him identifying the one-on-one guy, and he was putting them on him all game long from the very beginning. So you had to bring pressure because that was the only way you're going to have an incompletion. Like that was it. And again, it's not Bowles' fault that Bowles didn't tell Antoine Winfield Jr. to let Cooper Kupp run by him. Period. End of story. Like, focus your anger on Winfield. I know he's a good player. I know, that it's not like you don't want him gone or, he toasted the whole season and whole game reason we lost because of that. No. But for that particular play, the reason we lost the game, if you start the game right there, was Anton Winfield Jr., not the Bulls blitz. It just wasn't. I get it. It's frustrating because the defense, again, took till halftime. You never get Todd Bowles for a whole game. You either get him, he either gets you the whole game, you get him for a half, when you make adjustments, and the Rams had him in the first half. Second half, they made some, I don't really know if they made adjustments. They just started getting turnovers. So yeah. That's my reason to that. And again, I don't, G Vegas, I have no idea why the Bucs didn't come out in no huddle. I don't know why it took them halfway through the second. But with that, go ahead.
Even Collinsworth was like, why are they not doing that?
Yeah.
There's Robert.
Richard, what's up, man? What'd you see? How are you?
How are you, brother?
It's all good, Steve. People call me Robert all the time at work. It's hilarious. But,
there you go.
Oh, man.
Failure on my part.
That's all good.
Way to go, Antoine.
Way to buck that up, Steve.
Bucked it up.
Hey, so...
What's up, man?
This game just... Man, it's so hard to take everything because we were just losing, Rick. We were getting stumped.
Yeah.
We were getting stumped all game, and I'm sure most Bucs fans who are probably watching, well, me including, after halftime, I was like, for sure, okay, it's a good season. Let's wrap this up now.
Yeah, I thought it was over when they scored their touchdown in the third, like less than 10 minutes to go in the third. I'm like, it's over.
That's it, right? And the Tom Brady interception. That was it. That was a wrap up. But you know what? There was still fight in them.
Yeah.
For them to have got a big touchdown on Ramsey, Evans over Ramsey.
Yeah.
The strip sack with Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we only knew the outcome then, you just kind of wish Leonard Fournette would just, take a knee at the 1 yard line or something instead of going in for the touchdown.
I thought about
walk-off,
that.
but-
I thought
right?
about it as soon as he scored. I'm like, should he have just like run out of
Yeah.
bounds at the half-yard line, and just do 4 quarterback dives from the half-inch? Even though it's 47, I mean, but yeah, and they could have fumbled the snap. I mean, it's something you wonder. But if you're playing this, the smart way to do it is yes, score, and and it's not your, it's the defensive job to not have them go. What freaking? They have to go like 60 yards in less than a minute. Like that's the defensive job.
Yeah, I mean that's all hindsight 2020, right? The whole point is that, like you said, we got out schemed, we got out coached, we got outperformed, we got out refereed. Like everything was just going against us, and we still managed to tie the game with 45 seconds left. So we made it a game, and I'm still proud of this team. Just too many losses throughout the season. I didn't see us going back to the Super Bowl. It was more of a hope.
Yeah, I said this a lot.
They lost. I was like, they got a shot.
Once Green Bay lost, I thought it was a lock. I really did. I'm like, there's no way Jimmy G's gonna come in here and put up. He'd have to put up like 24, 25 to beat us. I'm like, he can't. Like, they scored. The Green Bay lost the game without giving up a defensive touchdown. Like, or however you want to say it. Like,
an offensive touchdown, yeah.
Yeah, it's like what? So, again, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Like, again, if I'm gonna hang my hat on anything in this game, it was not going max protect early because you found out you should have started it with that. But I can understand if you didn't want to. But you knew at least halfway through the second quarter, you knew after the first couple drives, you went 3 and out 3 times, and Brady was like getting massive pressure. Like if we didn't let the guys in on purpose to throw a screen behind him, then there was no chance for him to set up. Unless it was, he stand up and throw it outside of the outside receiver, or he stand up, The only positive play he found Gronk in the first half was because he had to sidestep a rusher who beat Wells again. And he stepped in the pocket and hit Gronk over the middle, and that kind of was like, oh, here we go. And then it was stalled. Then it stalled, and we didn't get any points. So, I mean, that's where I hang it on. But again, at the end of the day, at least it wasn't a blowout. We did have a chance to win, not necessarily through our play. Oh, he dropped out. Yeah. Not necessarily through our play.
There goes Richard.
Right. He got all upset. Oh, he's back. So not necessarily through our play, but it was just it was a weird game. At the end, it was fun. And I'm just like, I can't believe what I just. So many times, I can't believe what I just saw because it was over. Like, Brady gets stripped. We're down by 14. Brady gets strip sacked. Game's over on our side of the field. Like, they need 1 first down, kick a field goal. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay, we get the ball back. Then we don't get it on 4th down twice. Twice in the second half, we went for it on 4th down. Didn't make it. Matt Gay's there. How does Matt Gay kick a 47-yarder short? I saw that guy kick it from
south end zone.
I saw him put it over the net at practice from 63.
But there is something about Matt Gay in the south end zone.
Yeah, he can't kick there. Agreed.
He has a hard time kicking towards the south end zone.
And I'm surprised no one's banging on Suckup, because if Suckup would have made that 48-yarder,
they win the game.
It wins the game. But again, I don't really like that logic because it's the whole timeline thing. Because Rams would have called the game differently because the score would have been different, blah, 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 blah. But, I don't know. It's just like all these games, man, they've all been really close, not really pretty football, like more really defensive football. None of the quarterbacks really playing that well, even though these guys both did throw for 300, but Stafford didn't really have a great second half. Brady had an awful first half, and it's just kind of the way it went. And again, man, like, I just can't believe Antoine Winfield just let him run right by. I can't believe they like.
Red, you've been harping on that like for the last half of the season though about Antoine Winfield just.
I don't think he's good as people think he is. Now, John Ledger disagrees with me, and he watches film, so I'm not really sort of like gonna bang on him. I just thought that he missed too many tackles for being the last line of defense, he didn't do that today. He didn't miss the tackle. He just let the guy blow.
Yeah, he's a solid. He's one of the most solid tacklers on the team. but
Oh,
his coverage is just, eh.
I thought his coverage was fine. It's just when I think he takes bad angles. At least I thought you can see a handful of time where he takes bad angles. Okay, no big deal. It can be corrected. I think there's a handful of times, like you said, where he's poor in coverage. Okay, no big deal. Everyone gets beat. What bothered me is how all Bucs fans are like, oh, this guy should be, rookie of the year and safety of the year, and he should be an all-pro. And I'm like, dude, no. I'm glad he's on the team, and I think he's going to be a real good player, and possibly down the line he could be a Pro Bowler, maybe an all-pro. But right now, you guys aren't seeing, you're just sort of like we did with Quan Alexander. Quan Alexander would miss run fits all over the goddamn place. Couldn't cover any back that was like a tier 1 back. Couldn't cover McCaffrey. Couldn't cover David Johnson, who's good. He couldn't cover anybody. And then, but all the fans loved him because he had a 21 tackle game after something happened tragic in his life the same week, and he just kind of rode that for the rest of the time. And I just don't want to see that happen with Winfield again. I think he's a good player. I think he's gonna be fine. It's just you can't do that. That's not Bowles' fault. That's completely Antoine Winfield Jr.'s fault. And I'm not putting on blast and saying that's the reason he lost the game. I'm just saying, you can't do that. Just as much as we threw our hands up in the air and said, what a dumbass for King last year in the playoffs, right before halftime in Green Bay, it's the same exact thing. Same exact situation.
Yep.
So that's all I'm saying about Winfield.
Yeah, no, he's a good player. He really is. And he has such a high ceiling of his development. I mean, he's in year two.
Yeah.
Look at some of these others, great safeties that are out there right now. They don't really start hitting the stride until maybe their second contract, close to their second contract, or something like that. It's still going to take a lot of time to develop. But hopefully, if we retain Todd Bowles, he could still develop and be better. But you're right. We're not going to hang this on Anton Winfield. I mean, the whole point is that McVay just knows how to beat us.
Can't beat McVay. Can't beat, yeah.
That's it.
Can't
The
beat
Shawns. Can't beat the Shawns.
Yeah. Can't beat Peyton. Can't beat McVay.
That's it. Yeah.
Man.
That's really what it is.
And it's stopped by Taylor Heineke.
And I would like to say, you've hit it on a couple times, and I've kind of not talked about it, is the injuries that we've sustained this year.
Everybody has injuries, though, Ren.
Okay, yeah, but not like the way we did. And the teams that did have less than 500 records and missed the playoffs, like the Ravens. Last year, the Niners got destroyed by injuries. They had a top 10 pick. We got destroyed by injuries. We tied for the best record in the NFC, and won the division. So, I mean, you forget the whole backfield was gone at one point or another. Evans missed time, Marpet missed time, Worth missed time at a terrible. Godwin's gone. AB missed a whole bunch of time. Gronk missed half the season. So everybody but Fournette was gone. Ronald Jones is gone. JPP's missed games. Shaq Barrett's missed games. Who am I missing? Lavonte David missed games.
And then, and then all the people that we got for help missed games. Richard Sherman, Prayerman, Grayson, all our help got hurt too. So
yeah,
that didn't exactly help us either.
Yeah,
I would say, guys, that the Rams had lost a number of big pieces throughout the course of their season as well. Robert Woods missed almost the entire year.
Right,
with
one
injury. Andrew Whitworth didn't play today. Their left tackle. Jarrell Henderson.
Who?
Their running back.
Oh, that's not Sony Michel or Cam Akers?
No, Cam Akers missed the entire regular season.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and he fumbled twice for us.
Yeah.
But they also went out, and when they lost Robert Woods, they got Odell Beckham.
Right.
And then they brought in Von Miller. So, I mean.
Yeah.
And that Rams team beat the Bucs without Odell Beckham and without Von Miller.
Yeah. I would honestly say that first Rams game earlier in the season, week 3, that game was more of an ass-kicking. We got more of an ass-kicking this game than we did that game, and that's us playing on the road in Los Angeles. You know.
Yeah, the defense definitely didn't show up. You know, and it's hard to even. I mean, I don't think the defense played that well. I mean, you get 4 turnovers. First off, how do you get 4 turnovers and lose? That means the offense didn't play that well, too. But you know, it's. I don't think the defense really played that well. They could not stop them. And then, like, the amount of missed tackles that went for first downs, or like it could have been like it was like 2nd and 12, and they throw a swing pass out to like a back or a wide receiver, and there's Dean or there's Edwards or there's SMB, who must have missed like 67 tackles today, missed the guy, and instead of like second and keep or 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 10, all of a sudden now it's like 3rd and 3, and it's like, and it happened, and that's what happened 2 years ago. Like they always got like 5 yards yak on these under the sticks throws. But again, I mean, you know, there's plenty to talk about and plenty to nitpick, and you know, we'll have until the end of the season to talk about it. So like another 3 weeks. But I mean, yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm losing steam.
I'll end it with this. Can we get rid of one narrative? And unfortunately, it's never going to happen, but there's this narrative with Brady saying that he has the refs in his pockets. Clearly, he's not getting all the calls. I mean, that helmet head that busted his lip.
Miller left his feet and hit him in the head with the crown of his helmet.
Yeah, and then he gets the personal foul.
And he got the penalty.
Yeah, I've never seen a personal foul given to a player yelling at a ref without touching him. I've never seen that before.
That was Brady's first personal foul of his entire career.
Yeah, that was weird, you know. And then, of course, the Sue one, and then the pass interference on Dean, which was, again, questionable because the guy broke his route right into Dean. Like, he cut and put his shoulder right into his chest. Like Dean's allowed to have his space, you know. And basically, in my mind, Dean he didn't really grab him, but he did put his arm, you know. But it was to stabilize himself, or he would have fallen down. Like, the guy cut and stuck his shoulder right into him. Like, where is he supposed to go? So, but again, before that first holding penalty on the Rams center was super ticky-tacky too. You know, that we got early when he was supposedly holding Devin White. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, again, you know, but all that was in the past, and you know, it all came down to the fourth quarter, and the Rams choked, and the Bucs stepped up until they didn't.
It was really like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was. They controlled that game 55 minutes out of the 60 minutes. So.
And then Pinion kicking the ball out of bounds twice. Like, what the hell?
Oh my goodness!
Did you hear the Bronx cheer when he finally kicked it out of the back of the end zone the third time? The fans went nuts. They're like, yay!
It was so.
I think I gave a little clap on that.
I mean, you look at it, like all the only, and of course the big narrative going forward, at least at the beginning, is going to be, is Brady going to come back next year now?
Yeah, I'm sure he's already been asked in a presser.
I mean, the NBC guys asked him during the week if he thought if this was going to be it for him.
I mean, he's getting asked that almost every week by someone somewhere. I mean, that's just expected. You know what? If he does run to the sunset, cool. Thank you, Brady, for Super Bowl. Thank you for smashing all the records, all the quarterback records. I wish you could just stay one more season to really take over the all-time Buccaneers touchdown quarterback touchdown records. But you know, with another 40 touchdowns. But we'll see what happens. You know, then, what's it called? Win, lose, tie. Bucs fan till I die. So
there you go.
There you go. All right, keep your head up there, Robert.
Shut up. Both of you. I hate both of you.
All right, Richard. We'll see you.
All right, Richard.
What's up, Nofu? What's up, Rams wanter?
You wanted this. You wanted this, Nofu.
And it's my fault that the Cardinals couldn't get the job done.
Yes.
You wanted this.
This one random guy. That goes against everything you believe, Ren. It goes against everything you believe.
Doesn't matter.
You asked for this.
Well, Either way, the one thing I have.
If you're just listening to this, I just want to set this up. Like when Nofu's off stage, like I can see the camera, see what's going on, and this guy's been pacing back and forth like a caged tiger, in and out of the frame, and now he's standing and sort of like shifting weight foot to foot, and he's ready to go. Okay, Nofu, do it.
I almost want to ask Nofu if he wants a blindfold and a cigarette right now.
There we go.
I vape, and I was like, the first thing my brain immediately went to was, "Where's my cigarette?" Oh, you don't have a cigarette. Oh yeah, you don't have cigarettes. That's the thing. No, I play variants, man. Everything. That's like one of the first times, Ryan, because you said a lot that I've agreed on every little thing you said. Like, yeah, we can call it this, but then there's this, and we can call it this. It's like every single phase. And the reason I blame it on Arians is Arians likes to do a style of head coaching where he's not calling offensive plays or defensive plays. He leaves it to his coordinators to be prepped, to be ready, right? But you're not. You're still the head coach. You need to be involved. And this team, even though we came back, the Rams choked it. It wasn't that we somehow dominated. They literally were just fumbling the ball. Right? They just like, oops, like they didn't know how to play the game. And this team did not come out prepared to play. Like, and it's not that we were. I mean, our defense had all 11 starters like the first time in forever, right?
Yeah.
But players just dropping balls left and right. Like we had no game plan to stop Aaron Donald. Like yes, we knew we weren't going to have works. Y'all knew that was going to happen. You guys were hoping for a miracle. But it's a high ankle sprain. He ain't coming in unless you give him a robo leg. Like you guys knew this. You didn't want to do max protect like you said. And then it's just these mental lapses. I remember the punt return that the Rams did for like 40 yards. 4 Bucs players just ran into each other. Like no one was mentally prepared for this game or it's like game plan for this game. And on all 3 phases, and I blame that on Aaron. Like that's your job. If all 3 phases fail and the game plan, that's your fault. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, I guess the buck ultimately stops with him. I'm pretty sure that he has to sign off on sort of like the offensive and defensive, game plans during the week. So, yes, you're right on that. I don't really know how much that because if you see it on paper, you can be like, okay, well, what we're gonna do is we need Gronk in the middle of the field to be able to win this game, and here's why. And then he shows it to you, and you go, okay, all right, then, okay, so then what do we have to do? Well, then we're gonna have to depend on Wells to hold up. And like, okay, all right, we'll get into the game and see if that happens. Okay?
Well, let me
But it didn't happen, and it didn't happen like right from the jump, and they didn't adjust till like halfway through the second quarter. Well, they didn't adjust till halfway through the third, but they didn't do their first adjustment till like their 5th possession.
Well, would you agree before this game if someone came up to you and said the key to this game is the Bucs need to consistently run the ball? Would you agree with that?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
All the announcers were like, run the ball. They need to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because you're not running and you're losing. You know, the Rams weren't running the ball and they were winning. So did they need to run the ball? Like, this is sort of like a phenomenon I saw like 2 years ago. I guess Jameis's last year. Yeah, when Tennessee did that run to the AFC Championship and they had Derrick Henry and he was running all over, and all Bucs fans were like, see, this is how you win games. See. And then they went to Kansas City and lost, and no one said a word. It was just all gone. Like, you can win a football game and a Super Bowl a myriad of ways. Like, obviously there's a lot of luck. Injuries come a part of it, and of course there's coaching and the Jimmies and Joes. But as far as, like, this is the philosophy offensively and defensively for you to win a Super Bowl, it doesn't exist because we've seen it with all different philosophies, and it's almost year in and year out, Yep. For as great as like running the ball is and shortening the game and having, using play action to get guys open, Tennessee hasn't won a Super Bowl. Neither have the Ravens with Lamar Jackson when they switched to all run. They switched back this year, I don't know why. But, the Chiefs were like unstoppable, and then they come in and put up 9 points. What happened? Buffalo was a darling, then Buffalo's terrible, then they have like the best offensive game ever in the NFL, and all of a sudden they're great again. It's a week-to-week league, so that's why I say you don't need to run the ball to win this game. Now, Philly last week, that would be they need to run the ball to win the game, because if they're not running the ball, because they can't pass it either. Yeah. So with that, but when you get to down these last 8 teams, and we've seen this, like Not a lot of these games have been high scoring. The offensive lines across the board, I think the Rams actually probably grade out the best, and which is weird because they're terrible, at least pass protection with the teams that are left, as far as ranking goes. But none of these offensive lines could stand up. Aaron Rodgers was completely under duress. So was Garoppolo. What was the other game? Burrow got sacked 9 times and won. 9. I mean, so they've been very weird games. So, but again, when it comes to the Super Bowl, do you think that you're gonna win putting up 17 points? No, you're gonna have to put up. It's just there's a myriad of ways to win. So again, I'm sorry, I'm sort of dragging this out. No, I would not have said the Bucs would have to run the ball or be consistent run to win the game.
They needed to do what the Bucs are known to do. They have to assert their will in the way that they play best, and that is protecting Brady.
Yes,
and that was a huge issue.
That's it.
When you had Von Miller coming off one side, you had Aaron Donald coming off the other side. You have Josh Wells, who's playing like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest on the right, in for Tristan Wirfs. Leverett, when he came in, I thought played much better than Josh Wells did. I was like, just leave Leverett in. Wells is hurt too. What are you doing? Leave the healthy people in. We need healthy people here. And then, I don't know what was going on with Donovan Smith.
Worst game he's had in like 2 years.
Awful. I mean, Von Miller just had his way with. Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
Smith from 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was again, but in the end, there we were, chance to win.
Unreal.
And it's you said something earlier, Steve. It's and Ryan, you were kind of you guys went back and forth on it, and they're actually, I've been kind of thinking about it. It's like was this a failure of a season? But there's two school of thoughts in that. It's that if you want to get back to where you were, but it's like we were the Super Bowl champs. Repeat last time was 2003, 2004. It does not. It's happened like 5-6 times in NFL history, like consecutively. Like if a team won 4 in a row.
The Super Bowl era, it's happened 5 times.
5 times. So it's it's extremely hard to do. So to me, it's like that. My wife was watching with me, and she was just like, we had a good season. I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, like, did we have a good season? It's like,
did we?
Because it's like, but you think about it too. It's.
But you can have a good season, and still be unhappy because you didn't get to where.
That's not what you said. You said it was.
It was a failure.
You can have a good season and also be a failure. Wow. All right. Wow. You should run for Congress as a Democrat.
If I take your logic to the extreme, the Jaguars had a failure of a season. Every team did that's not in the Super Bowl. That's the only goal. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. They don't play to make a better, that's just have a better record. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. That's it. There's no bowl games like college. There's no SEC championships or that. It's to win it. So it's like, obviously, when we got Brady the first season, making the playoffs and a couple wins was a great season for me because we had been so long in trash.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that does get your argument as well, Steve. But it's like at the same time, it's like, I wanted to win a goddamn Super Bowl, man. Like, we had the team, but as you see, man, it's week to week. Chris Godwin, Cyril Grayson, Tyler Johnson got hurt there. Darden got hurt in the game. Wirfs is out. His backup is out. JPP, literally JPP. Has been hurt all season. Shaq was out. Everybody's out. We lost Antonio Brown. It felt every week as it went by. It just didn't feel as good. The reason I'm eating so much food, you see me off camera, is because I haven't eaten in 24 hours. So I just felt really bad about this game. Nauseous. This is going to be bad. And it just felt like what happened to the Chiefs last year just happened to us 2 weeks earlier. 3 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
All the injuries that hit them just at the same exact time.
Right.
Are kind of right here, and that just completely derailed us. And what can you really do to correct? Even if we beat the Rams, I think we would have done a really good job of beating the 49ers. Because if Debo's hurt, their whole thing is the run game. They ain't going to do much on us. But Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals, I feel like that would have even been hard. So, Wirfs ain't going to really be able to come back. Godwin's not coming back.
Well, you'd have gotten him 3 weeks. 3 weeks of because remember, there's 2 weeks between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, and if he didn't play in the NFC title game, he would have been out for a month. He would have missed 4 weeks. which is what's basically a high ankle sprain. So he would have been okay.
I mean, I just feel like once we knew Wirth was out, I don't know, just me, I just felt like, yeah.
The game plan is scrapped.
Like, I can't see it.
No throwing the ball down the field this week.
Well, you weren't going to be able to. You're not, and I thought Collinsworth said it right. You can help out on one side or the other. It's really hard to have to try and help both ends when you're having.
It is hard, but it's completely possible.
Yeah, you play.
You chip with a back and you leave a tight end in.
Well,
Max
now,
protect city.
JPP probably going to retire. He was on a 1-year deal, and he's been out for 90% of the season with his shoulder.
Yeah.
Sub was convinced to not retire for a 1-year deal. He's going to be gone. I mean, Brady, whatever heck's going to happen with him, I have no idea. This just came out of nowhere.
Fournette.
Godwin, I feel like we definitely would be able to keep, and I think we will attempt to grab him. But, I mean, if Brady retires, Gronk's retiring instantly. He won't play with any other quarterback. So that's the real deep. And the reason I bring that up is it's really the deep rooted of, like, I tell my wife, like, why this sucks is that we knew we had a clock. It wasn't like we had a younger team and we had guys, and it's like
It's the last hurrah for this game. It's going to be all different.
We don't know if there's because if Brady's gone, it's Gronk's gone. JPP and Sutton are gone no matter what. I've got money on that. Like, we have all these people that are not going to make it back. Levante David has got 2 years or 3 years left. Even though he's got this 5-year weird cap deal. Like, this is it. And while we don't want to pin it on one person, our secondary, and again, I'll say this, Winfield is a second-year player. And I was with you, Red. Like, I don't know if you saw my face when you were, like, saying that Winfield, people last year were saying he should be all-pro, and I was like, who said that? Like,
Fans.
No, he you have to be insanely good as a safety to become an all-pro. He was all right in that regard. But
he's very good for a rookie, and he's good for a second-year player.
Right. So, I mean, but all that kind of combined, this whole rant, is that I kind of agree with you, Steve, in the sense we had a good season, but with the context of what we were trying to do, with the limited amount of time we had, with all these guys on 1-year deals, knowing that it could come to an end at any moment, we had to do it now. Because it's not like we can take this and say, okay, what can we build on? We're about to lose everything. Like, it's happening, and that's why it does suck. The only thing I would like, I like to say is I thought the Richard guy was gonna say it when he said this whole idea, and he started talking about Brady, when reality is it was about Brady getting flags. I thought he was about to take my whole thing I want everyone to shut the hell up on, is this idea that because we have Brady, he can use his wizard powers, and we're just gonna win the game.
Yeah.
Every time I saw it, like Rams fans, Bucs fans, Rams fans were like, listen, dude, they're injured like crazy. Like, Rams fans talking to each other. They're like, oh, they're injured like crazy. We can do it. Like, we have this. They don't have this. Like, they go into this breakdown analysis, and then every dude behind him would just be one sentence. Yeah, but they have Brady. Like, dude, Giselle got it right. He can't throw and catch the ball. He can't play safety. Like,
He definitely can't catch.
right, he definitely can't. It sucks. Brady showed today Brady can't do it on his own. I mean, he didn't do it on his own. Yes, we had this comeback, but that's not because of Brady. That's because the Rams don't know how to hold on to a ball.
Yeah.
Like, they just held the ball one of those drives and scored, it was over.
They didn't have to score. They could just run some clock off, and it was over.
If Matt Gay doesn't somehow become
How does Matt Gay come up short on a 47-yarder? Like, what is that?
Right?
Like, how do you come up short on a 47-yard kick if you're Matt Gay? Which, again, I swear to you people, I watched him put it over the net from 63 in practice. He put it over the net and banged it off the indoor facility from 63 yards.
Well,
And he came up short on a 47-yarder.
and then on top of all of that, while I know a lot of people want to fire Bowles and Leftwich into the sun, which I like Bowles. I really do. Like, a lot of people don't remember that he had a masterpiece of a coaching in the last Super Bowl. And Leftwich, I'm like, whatever about. But it's like, we could lose both of them. That we have to find replacements for coordinators. This isn't like a head coach where someone has had opportunities to do it. We would have to replace them.
I think they're on the team.
You really think no one's going to grab that?
No, I think the replacements are probably on the
Oh,
team.
exactly. Right, they're on the team, but it's like it's unproven in regard.
Yeah, true.
It's not as
Absolutely
much
true.
as a head coach has kind of proven himself as a coordinator. you're probably going to grab a receivers coach or a DBs coach or a line coach. So it's just not as much experience to be calling all the plays for all the positions. So I think we've lost Bowles. The one I don't know is 100% we've lost Bowles, I think. I'd be shocked if not, because he's already had head coaching experience. Leftwich, I'm not too sure. He's
Right.
See, I'm the other way. I'm the other way around, Nofu. I think that they've lost Leftwich, and because I believe Bowles, if I'm not mistaken, is the highest paid assistant coach in the league. So I think that I think that if he wants to be a head coach again, he's going to get. I think he's going to get more money than some of these guys that are going to be head coaches for the first time. And so I think Leftwich ends up in Jacksonville, and I think Bowles stays.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, that Leftwich to Jacksonville makes a lot of sense. Of course, it does. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But here's the thing that I don't think Leftwich is quite ready yet, and here's just sort of kind of my reason why. The Bucs offense goes better when Brady calls the plays, and when Brady calls the plays, when we're going no huddle. It's sort of that long-term argument that's been with Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs. Why did Eric Bieniemy have a head coaching guy? Why? Well, because he doesn't call plays. I know he started calling plays this year, and the Chiefs lost 4 in a row. So, and apparently Eric Bieniemy bombs in interviews. That's also the word on the street. So, but when you're when you're the offensive coordinator of a team, that wins 13 games year after year after year and goes to the playoffs, deep runs, shows Super Bowl, loses the Super Bowl, goes to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, but you're not doing what your job is, then what exactly, why, what are you doing? And then with Brian Leftwich, it's well, when they huddle up and you call the plays, the team doesn't move the ball. But when they come out of the huddle, unless they're playing a much worse team, like they're playing the Dolphins or the Eagles or the Giants or something. But when, push comes to shove and, the Madden score is real close between these two teams, and the only way you really move the ball is when your quarterback's calling the plays, well then, I just think he needs more time. It's just something to look at. And I'm not saying he's not ready. I'm just saying that, that would be something I would look at and definitely ask questions for in the interview room. And Todd Bowles, I don't know. It depends on who the owner is and GM and what they're looking for, because he comes off as a very boring person, which shouldn't matter as a head coaching job, but ultimately...
He's perfect for Chicago.
Well, yeah. I mean, Belichick's pretty boring looking.
Right, but if Belichick hasn't been, put up the greatest professional coaching record ever of all time, he still wouldn't be in New England, with that attitude. Look at Brian Flores in Miami. They got rid of him because they don't like him. They think he's a dick.
Yeah,
So
the GM
lived up
didn't like
7 players in the head. Right?
Yeah, well, but I don't know. So, I mean, I think probably by law of averages, probably one of them go. I don't really, and to be honest, I don't care which one does. I mean, I wish them both well. I wish they both would stay. But if one of them goes, one of them stays. I don't care because I've been a Bucs fan so long. Players come and go, coaches come. Once you're gone, you're gone. I'm not gonna I love Dominican Sue, but I love because of his Twitter and what he talks about, what he cares about off the field, and that's why he's one of my favorite Bucs. Dominican Sue goes and plays for whoever. I don't care about Dominican Sue anymore. Mike Evans has turned into one of the best temperamented wide receivers in the game. He's so cool and never shows emotion anymore, and all he does is get open and score, and nobody gets under his skin anymore and all that. But if he goes to the Lions, I don't give a shit about Mike Evans. So it's the same thing's going to happen with next man up, man. Once you're gone, and you're dead to me.
Until they're back, then they risen for them.
And then you're back, and then, you're like, oh, I'm glad you're back. I really liked you a lot.
You know how many times I was called not a true Gators fan because I was saying that, what's his name, the dude who went to the Falcons, the tight end, shoot. That's how much he's dead.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I was like, they were like, oh, let's hope he does good. I'm like, screw that. I hope he does bad. And they're like, you're not a true fan. I'm like, screw that. He's against the Bucs.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah. So when he gets a catch against Carolina in the third quarter, those stats go into the Gators book.
Exactly. No, they do not. So, but I mean, we're all kind of talking about the same thing. It's about this whole conversation. Yes, we're talking about the future, but it kind of goes into what you were saying, Steve. It's like, were we happy with the season? Because it's it. The season's over, and it's like most teams in this league would be unhappy. Would be happy with 13-4 and making a division round somebody that way. But we had a timetable, and we're about to lose so many people. And with all those people losing, it might speed up Tom Brady's saying like, "Hey, even if I come back, this is going to be a rebuild. We have either one or multiple coordinators we have to replace, multiple people on defense that are key pieces. Offense, we could lose Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette. Ronald Jones still doesn't have the trust. And then am I going to come back? And he could choose not to, and then you lose Ron Gronkowski because that's 100% given. He retired because he was not going to be. He's going to play for the Lions, like because he wasn't going to be with Tom Brady. So it's just, I'm thinking immediately, yeah, it was a good season, but in the position we're in, it's a failure because we're about to. It's like a ticking time bomb. Like it's not going to be a slow degrade that we could possibly come back up from. It's going to be just a drop. We rose quick and we're going to drop quick.
Well, yeah, probably.
I can see this team going 8. Like if with Fournette gone, if Brady retires, with Gronk gone, Godwin, no Sue, no JPP. I could see a team like that with Blaine Gabbert under center. I'm sorry, Ren, going 8-9 and missing.
Kyle Trask.
No, it's going to be
Kyle
Gabbert
Trask.
for sure.
I want Kyle Trask. I don't care about Glenn.
I don't know, Matthew. What time is it over there? And what did you see? You're not going to stick around, no food. You're going to dip.
I'll stay around with Matthew.
Yeah.
It is. Hey guys, good to see you again. Long time no see.
Yeah.
It's 12:30 in the morning at the moment, but
Okay.
it's all good.
It's like Monday Night Football game over here on the East Coast.
There you go.
I think I was just following up on the point there about it being a disappointing or a bad season or whatever. Sometimes I think it's easier for us to forget that 18 months ago we were looking at blowing this whole thing up because Jameis was leaving and it was all over. And then 18 months ago you'd have said, I know right now tonight, like we're all disappointed right now, but in context of the fact that 18 months ago we were, like the whole thing was getting blown up, you'd have taken one ring in 2 years. So I do get it.
Yeah. Like when Jameis throws that pick six at home against Atlanta to end the season, and someone goes, "Hey, in January 23rd, 2022, a pandemic will ravage the world, but the Bucs will get one Super Bowl and a home playoff loss on a last second field goal. While winning the division, one Super Bowl, one division title, 4 playoff wins, 4 playoff wins, 1 Super Bowl, and losing a playoff game, on a last second field goal as time runs out. Will you take it?"
5 playoff wins.
I would immediately say to you, what drugs are you taking?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, obviously that being said, the first half of the game, we're all still fuming because it was bad, wasn't it? It was embarrassing in the first half. But
yes.
there was a time when at half time we'd have just rolled over and just died, and then the amount of opportunities we had to still win that game in the fourth quarter, you can't blame anyone else. We had the chances to win it. We had them. Like it was there for us to win. And I know I'm sure I missed the first half of the show, but I guess a lot of people have probably been hammering Todd Bowles' blitz on the last play, but
only in chat.
That's
it's only come up once or twice.
That's
sentence.
That's the way we play, right? Like that's how you got here in the first place. Is that kind of And if in that first quarter when we weren't blitzing and we were sitting off, they were killing us. They were moving it so easily down the field, and
couldn't stop them.
Would you rather us go back to just that prevent when we just let them kill us for 40 yards slowly, or at least have a chance to get back in the backfield and end it? So.
Yeah, because
you sure you didn't watch the first half of the show? You sound like me.
Yeah, because we talked about how they started blitzing. They started not being dead on with some of the receivers, And that's how you get a turnover and end the game, or at least force overtime at that point.
And some of that aggressive nature is how we were even in the game in the first place in the fourth quarter, like, because it was dead at half time, and then you get some of those turnovers late through being a little bit more aggressive, and that's how you're even in it. So that it's hard to have it both ways, really.
I mean, that last play should have been a blitz, in my opinion. If I would call it a blitz, cover the sidelines, have 2 deep, let them catch it in the middle for 20 yards. They're on the 25-yard line, and then let them catch it in the middle, and then the safeties come down and tackle them, and then they have no timeouts, and then they have only 1 play to go. So just don't let them get out of bounds, and do not let them get past you. And as Ren was saying, and I can't believe you even had to say this, Ren, because I had to say the same talk with my wife. I'll tell you exactly the words I said to her, is that Steve, I got to agree with Ren on this one. It doesn't matter who you are. Your job as the free safety is to let no one behind you. If becoming a pro in the NFL is a college, a university, career, that's freshman day one, like for a safety. Like, you don't let someone get behind you. And I told my wife, and she's just like, well, there was a lot going on. I said, if that's what it is, you don't belong in the pros. Like, there was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there were 11 guys moving. There were 21 other guys moving in front
It
of
was very confusing, and he's a Scorpio, and Venus is in the wrong moon.
But yeah, no, that final play. I think while we can point to it, like you were saying here, it was just a perfect example of the whole game. We had him where we needed him. How many times I think it was twice. An interception went right through the defender's hands.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the 3rd and 20 for the touchdown for the whole entire field. Like, what was that?
We did a little bit, because that was the first time that.
Yes, that's true.
Carlton Davis before the play was like literally going, Adams, go back for me, and then Adams is like just walking away.
and Edwards is like, I'm gonna go this way, away from
Edwards, not Adams. Edwards, yeah, he's just like, all right, cool, whatever. And then Carlton Davis. No communication, just lets you go by.
And it was the exact same play and the exact same route combination that we got done from in the earlier game with
Deshaun Jackson. On a 3rd and 20.
Yeah, literally the same play. Like, literally the same play.
Yeah. What else do you see there, Mike?
Oh, sorry, I was just watching.
Did I call you Mike? I'm sorry, Matthew. I'm sorry, man.
I think, I get
Robert.
Winfield gets
a show, right, Rand?
I get that Winfield gets beat over the top at the end, and if we call that 7 points, well, at the end of the second quarter, he basically is a 7 points difference anyway. So it's sort of like, he's made a good play at the end of the second quarter to even get that game close. And that doesn't excuse him getting beat over the top, but there's lots of things that go wrong in that game. And I think if you're gonna talk about people in bigger games, I'm sure what you've probably already spoken about it. Donovan Smith has not had his best game tonight, and it is
worst game in 2 years.
It was bad. It was real bad. And I just wonder if, when we talk about Byron Leftwich getting a coaching job, for me the big problem is that when things go badly in game, he's not very good at adjusting. So, it was obvious early that Donovan Smith, both tackles were getting beat badly early.
Yes.
And so rarely we all know Gronkowski might be the best blocking tight end, if not in the league, right? So I get that you want him as a weapon.
He's probably
sure you didn't watch the first half of the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think you missed us saying that Gronkowski is the best blocking receiver outside of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. And didn't you literally draft OJ Howard because the big hype was that he was a good run blocker, and if we've basically abandoned the bloke because we think he's no good, then surely, if nothing else, you stick him out there as a third tackle to help Donovan Smith in the foot. It doesn't I just think those are the things that other teams are looking at these moments, and that's why he won't get a head coaching job. Not because of anything else. It's because of these in the big moments. He can't adjust.
He's too slow to adjust.
Yeah.
He's too slow to adjust.
Only 60 minutes. But I'm going to say something sacrilegious here. I kept thinking about it the whole game, and I know people would come for me if I was a news reporter, but there were a lot of times, man, where I sat there and I was like, man, I wish we didn't have a 44-year-old quarterback who couldn't run. Like, he just, like, nothing against 44-year-olds, because obviously look what he can do, and I'm going to
Yeah,
be there.
please
one day.
don't leave any offense to a 40.
Because we would have got exactly where we were with Jalen Hurts.
Well, no, I don't want a Jalen Hurts, but I would love a quarterback who can at least move. Like, not,
Yeah.
oh, hey, I feel someone breathe on my neck. Like,
Yeah.
let me just drop for you. Like,
Yeah, I thought about that during the game too, when Brady, stepped up in the pocket without getting sacked, which it seems like it's only happened like twice this all year, and then found Gronk in the middle of the field, and like, okay, we're kind of getting something going here. And I remember when Brady was a master at sliding in the pocket. Like, that was like one of his, superpowers. And then I'm like, he hasn't done that like at all ever as a Buccaneer. And I'm like, huh. And I go, yeah, I guess he is kind of old. And then I went, Aaron Rodgers, huh. And then it was like the next play, and that was the end of that.
It's and obviously we know the Rams pass rush is amazing. That's what a piece of business to take Von Miller, who everyone was looking at him thinking he was done and dusted, and then all of a sudden, he looks like the old Von Miller. But me and Alex were literally screaming for. You were almost looking for a touch of the Jameis Winstons in that third quarter, fourth quarter, and just give Mike a 50-50. Just give him one, because this is going nowhere anyway. So let's just toss it up. Trust Mike, give him the chance, and then lo and behold, when we give it to him, he beats Ramsey, all ends up. So
it was like, we're not going after Mike because they're doubling, not going after Mike because they're doubling. Okay, they're not doubling him. We're going to Mike. Oh, they hit Ramsey on him. Okay, we're not going to go to Mike. Not going to go to Mike. Well, Jesus, we need to win. Let's go to Mike. It's like he's a number one. Like, he's uncoverable.
Yeah,
he's proven it. He's uncoverable. Yes, there are guys out there going to get him every once in a while, but Ramsey ain't one of them. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And there's a balance there, right? That there was a time when we were saying maybe don't throw to Mike 9 out of 10 plays and then we'll go somewhere else. But all we're asking for here was 1 or 2 of them. And I know we like the deep ball to Gronk because of that history, but I'd still like a ball to Mike once in a while. Yeah.
They got him involved too late again. It was just, again, starting off with a bad offensive game plan. Defensive game plan that should have went to putting max pressure on Stafford after the first quarter, where you realize that they're not playing the Cardinals defense. Cam Akers isn't rushing for 120 yards. This is not going to happen. It's like you need to start bringing the house and make Stafford, because he had all day back there. Yeah. He had all day back there. You got to make him uncomfortable. And again, I don't think the defense played well, even though they had 4 turnovers. But if it's not an interception, then I don't really think because they weren't strip sacks. They were guys just dropping the ball, the one Winfield had the strip at the goal line, but he wasn't going for the strip. He was just tackling the guy, and his hand just happened to land on the ball, and he happened just oh, hey, I have the ball, I'll give it a pull, and it just happened to come out. Yeah. Same thing with Sue's
helmet got to hit the deck.
Yeah, and it was the same thing with Sue. The first one, I think it was. He got his hand on the ball. Oh, my hand's on the ball. He was just tackling the guy, and he's oh, there's the ball, and then he pulled on it. It just happened to come out. It wasn't like a strip sack. It wasn't like an interception. The Bucs were lucky to get those 4, and then to be able to recover for the 5. I mean, come on, that was 2015 anti-Bucs stuff. Every time Jameis dropped the ball, I think teams recovered the ball more than Jameis fumbled it. He fumbled 8 times, but they got 10 recoveries. It was that bad. Anyway, I'm sorry.
And we had a lot of that last year as well, didn't we? You think
I'm bringing in John, guys. He's been waiting a long time.
Hi, John.
5 boxes.
End of the season, so.
That's right.
We had a lot of that, didn't we, last year?
We're 5 wide now.
Like Saints and the Saints in the
done.
playoffs. It was the same kind of thing, that Levante punching the ball out and that kind of thing. They weren't as. That's kind of been how we've had our turnovers when they've come.
Yeah, John, you've been waiting patiently. The King of Newport Richie, what's up, man?
Hey, heartbreak. Let's just say emotional roller coaster. I'm drained.
Good talk. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
See you next year. I'm just kidding. How do you think everyone played? What stuck out to the most to you, buddy?
That Josh Wells not a capable starting right tackle.
Yes, that was evident. Yes, that was evident.
Josh Wells and Donovan Smith once again regressed to the old Donovan Smith.
Yes.
Regressed.
I agree.
Guys can't stay healthy. Wide receivers can't stay healthy. In and out. Damn.
All this is true. All this is true.
We can't cover right now.
Can't cover
Cornerbacks
Cooper
can't
Kupp.
cover.
Cover Cooper Cup. Anyway, any double consonants, which isn't really true because it's CK. It should be KK, because then he could be
it was played out exactly like it was during the regular season. It was exactly like the Rams versus Bucs in the regular season. That was the thing. But the thing was, the Rams turned over the ball with fumbles, so we actually had a chance, and that was the thing. It was the exact same game where we blew coverage, big touchdown, you know.
Right.
And that's been an epitome for us this year. Is we allow like a 3-and-20. We're like, okay, we should easily get 4th down. Oh God, we blew a coverage. Oh God, they got 20 yards. Oh, they got a big play. Oh, they got a touchdown. God dang it again.
Sean Murphy Bunting, another blown tackle.
Yeah, misses tackle.
Oh, miss a tackle. Well, they got 20 yards. Oh, well, there we go. Well, there goes 20 yards that they gained easily. And that's been a problem with us this year, is that we can't cover on 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, it's been hard for us.
Yeah, that I agree. You know that there were issues abounding, especially for me. Like when I'm sitting on the couch watching this, and it's like I feel like Vince Lombardi in some of those old NFL films. I'm like, grab. Nobody's tackling. Like there was a lot of
Tackle somebody, you big dummy.
Well, it's like everybody's just trying to do this instead of trying to do this.
Push.
It's like everybody's just trying to push people down, push tackles. Like they're going up against the sled.
Yeah. But Devin White had a press breakout though. Yay.
He did have a pass breakup. That's right. He did. Yes.
He did it.
I'll hang my hat on that for these next 4 months.
And then, of course, Shaq Barrett wasn't really able to do much. And even though they lost their all-pro left tackle, they were fine. They were fine.
We haven't talked about that. That's good you brought that up, John. I was shocked about how much not pressure. Is that even English? I was shocked about how much pressure we did not get on Stafford, even just by rushing 4, because I talked about it a little bit earlier. Like statistically, the Rams' pass protection, their offensive line, is not good. Like they're in the bottom half of the league. So that was really surprising. And maybe again, like I talked about how it was so slow for, the offense to go to max protection when clearly they needed it. If you didn't know by the end of the 3rd series, then I don't know what you're watching. You're just clinging on to false hope. By the end of the 3rd series defensively, where the Rams have scored every time they touch the ball, you should know that you're not getting home yet. So it was time to start bringing some guys. And again, you didn't have to worry about the run because by the end of the 3rd possession, it was apparent that they couldn't run the ball against us either. So it just too slow to adapt to what you're seing and being a little too stubborn with the amount of time.
It's like we adjusted at the half, but it was too little too late. We bled too much.
Yeah.
By that point, we bled too much.
Right.
And
I wonder if next year, Joe Tryon needs to have a considerable step up next year if he's gonna. Because I think what they were hoping is that he'd step into a rotational role where he could take on some of them snaps with JPP and stuff. I know he's only a rookie, but for me, I'm not sure we've seen an awful lot of him so far this year. And I think next.
I didn't even see him out there at all this game. Did anybody see him out there?
He had a couple
I
of snaps.
saw him, but he really didn't do much.
I mean, not on special teams. Like, did you see him out there on defense?
A couple times, seen his number 9 jersey rushing, but wasn't doing much.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see him at all, but I wasn't looking for him or anything.
Yeah.
Matthew, we haven't
I
talked
just
about.
happened to see him, like, oh hey, Joe Tryon.
Matthew, we haven't talked about with this week. What do you think about is Brady coming back?
I think he is, because hasn't he been saying for ages that he wants to play till 45 and he's 44?
Well, he turns 45 in August before the season starts.
Well, there you go. No food with a point. He'll be 45 before the season starts.
Plus, he said, I watched the whole Man in the Arena thing. I binge watched it because I thought episode 10 was coming out when they said it was, but it's not. It's coming out
Yeah.
in spring, which is the Bucs Super Bowl. But he said that he keeps playing to prove something, and it's not to anybody else, but it's to himself, that he can keep playing at a championship level. And the second he realizes he can't is when he will hang it up. He won't keep trying.
Well, I think he's coming back. I don't think, from what we've seen this year, that there's nothing Kai saw tonight or any of the rest of the season that makes me think he doesn't want to play next year.
He could, but after that came out and he talked, he built that all last year. He talked about all the time he's missed with his family when he had the 4-game suspension. It was the best time of his life because he was able to revitalize his marriage. He realizes the things he's missing. And that's why I went into that whole topic of all these people we're losing. We're going to have that all the time, like you said, Ren. They're going to be gone. People come and go. That's the NFL. It's like college where you just buy 6th graders who are freaks. That's just how it is. But with all these people that we could possibly lose, everything Tom Brady has said, and you're possibly going into a nuclear meltdown of a rebuild, and you're at 45 now. Are you going to want to start the next season in a team that's possibly not going to win their division because we've just lost so many key players? That's the question. And I'm not saying he will. I hope he doesn't. But at the same time, it's well, if we're going to go to nuclear rebuild, let's see what we can do and not keep trying to stop the bleeding.
By the way, I just want to give a big FU to this guy.
Which guy?
Who? Which guy?
This is the Twitter feed of Antonio Brown, who has the picture of him naked or topless at the Meadowlands with the sign saying "Bucs eliminated." That's on his Twitter feed. Screw you!
What a turd!
Screw you, Antonio Brown.
I'll be back. I gotta make a call.
Go do it. Go.
All right. Well, before you go, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. You got anything before you go? Because there will be no more coming back.
All right. Very, very dreadful off season. Very scary off season, and let's just see what happens. Maybe we do need a new offensive defense coordinator. Maybe you never know. Maybe they'll breathe new life. So, whatever the way the wind blows, we just gotta deal with it. And hey, if the run is over, at least we got a Super Bowl to show for it. That's the most I could ever ask for. So, just this run was just the most I ever could ask for. So.
Wise words, Sean. Wise words. Go make your phone call, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Hey,
see you guys.
See you, John.
No foo.
I put it in the super chat. My last thing. I don't care if we lose balls or Bluffwich. We need a new strength and conditioning coach.
I tried to get to the bottom of that once. That the female rehab person, because she's not really strength and conditioning. She's more of rehab and sort of sustainability.
Yeah,
a little bit of pliabilities. What?
Coach Morale.
Sure. You always see her. She gets more airtime than BA does. You always see her on the sidelines.
Listen, I don't care if it's a girl. I don't care if it's a guy. I don't care if it's the Keebler else. At this point, you lost literally, I think, every single starter on our defense other than maybe Suh.
Okay. I'm done with you calling the man Suh. The dude's name is Suh.
Whatever.
It's not whatever. It's not tomato. It's
last name, but I can get his first name. That's the weird thing. Indomitian too. There you
You
go.
said it wrong the first time. Suh.
I think Stu, though, was the only one who didn't miss any time on the defense. I could be wrong, though. But it's all of them were pretty much out. On offense, all of our running backs, were out. Our offensive line, for the first time, we lost 2 big ones. And I think even, who's the dude? Who's the left guard? I can't remember his name right now.
Marpet.
Marpet missed some time, right?
Yeah, he was the only one to miss time before that playoff game. Yeah.
Right. Evans had injury. Chris Godwin had injury before he went truly injured. AB was injured. Gronk, we'll ignore his because that was catastrophic how his went down. Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson and Darden take little hits here and there. They're out. So it's just everybody seeming to not just be able to not get injuries. So I'm just I want a new strength. I can't make these decisions. We're not Green Bay where we own the company. But You know,
They don't either. It's non-voting
No,
stock.
it's not. I saw that. I was gonna buy one if it was because then I was gonna say I own the Green Bay back.
Fire Aaron Rodgers.
Trade him into the Bucs.
Trade to the Bucs. Matt LaFleur, coach and waiting Tampa Bay.
I don't like this. But yeah, we need to, I don't care who it is. It's strength and conditioning. Probably was one of our big killers that killed this season.
This is what you want to end your season on, Nofu? A strength and conditioning rant.
Hey, that's like me.
And then the weather. The weather.
That's like me talking about ending the season on a kicker.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just channeling my inner James Jonathan. You know, I need more pictures of Spider-Man. Like, I need
There you go.
So I want to end it on that because I don't want to go to next season having hope, and then the first game I get into the hamstring injury again. Like, it just is what it is.
I feel you. Everyone should do the pliabilities TB12 method.
There you go.
I'm good with
There
that.
you go. All right, Nofu, man. We'll see you soon. Quit wearing a hole out on the floor. Oh, see ya. He removed himself. Matt, that just leaves you. What do you got? You're leaving the Pewtercast 21-22 season, regular season. Do we need wise words or not? What you say will resonate throughout history as the last words spoken.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a lot less late night victory cigars this year calling in than it was last year. But
Yeah.
I think just thank you guys for carrying on doing it, letting us call in, letting us be here. I know that we've not called in as much this year, but I think that's mainly because we don't have as much COVID here, and now I have work on a Monday morning, which means that I have to go to bed rather than
Understandable.
to call up. But we'll how about this? We'll make I'll also speak on Alex's behalf, and we'll make more of a concerted effort next year to call in at least one of us once every 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it does. You guys are more than welcome, of course, every single time. But it doesn't hurt my feelings when people don't call in and call in and quit calling in. Like,
Yeah,
like
we
I haven't seen.
understand,
I don't think I've seen Prime all year. I love Prime.
I think
haven't
we
seen
saw
him all
Prime
year.
once. I think
Did
Prime
he?
called once.
Okay, yeah. Well, so anyway, no big deal. But I appreciate the effort. If you guys want to do that, that'd be great. I'll see you soon. But so we got strength and conditioning and an empty promise to show up more, to call mom more. Okay, great. All right, Matthew, man.
Thank you guys. You take
Yeah,
care.
hang in there, buddy.
You know who's laughing the hardest right now? Brent.
Why?
Brent because he's laughing, going, "Ha! My last show, the Bucs won a Super Bowl."
It's true. Yeah, his last show was the Pewties. He got a Super Bowl trophy.
That bastard. No. I talk a lot about there being that the season being a failure. I want to say that failures are learning processes. You fail a lot.
Fucking
before
Corey.
you succeed.
Jesus Christ, you're trying to wrap it up. Where have you been? I got stuff to do.
I'm in Tampa.
I was going to say, those are Gasparilla beads.
You're in Tampa. Did you bring your ceiling fan with you? Because it looks like the same one.
I did.
There we go.
Hey, man, all I can say is, man, I'm so fucking proud of my team, bro.
There you go.
First of all, Mike Evans proved that he's that dude.
Yep.
He didn't
He
lose
is that
step.
dude.
If anything, he got better. I've never seen Jalen Ramsey just flat out get beat. That looked like Darrell Reeves versus Randy Moss. When Randy Moss beat him and caught it with one hand. When Reeves
Oh, and then
pulled
Darrell pulled his hammy, the mystery hammy pull.
Well, exactly. It didn't pop up yet. Hold on. So, from that game, man, that's all I could talk about is the fight of this team and the hunger that we did. Because we could have easily folded. Look, guys, we got our Super Bowl last year. We're not healthy. Pack it in. Fuck no. This team said, fuck that. And this team fought and made every single one. If you're a true Bucs fan, because we've seen our team quit, man.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
fucking 9-3 John Gruden's last year. We watched us lose 4 straight games and not make the playoffs. We watched that shit. We watched it. We've seen our team quit before. These guys did not fucking quit.
No,
And
they
it was
certainly did
amazing
not.
to watch.
They clawed, they spit, they scratched, and all the way. And unfortunately, the Rams had one more hit. They had one more
Right.
hit left.
Right. And quite frankly, it came to me. It came down to the more so the play call than the player's ability, in my opinion. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, we
can't
talked
put my-
about that.
Yeah, I know. I figured I'm calling in an hour late.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm trying. I just I don't
That's what
understand the
happens when
play
you go to
call
Gasparilla.
at all. I don't. Yeah. I noticed that last week when I tried to call you were at the game and I couldn't get in. But the play call it is what it is. But when you watch your team get outplayed really for 3 quarters, and we had an opportunity to win this game, guys, this is amazing. I don't see a situation where Brady doesn't come back. Because Aaron
Killed in a car accident.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, he has a year left on his deal, right? So
Yeah.
just play it out. I refuse to believe we're not going to be stronger as a roster. There's certain moves that can be made to make us stronger, and we're going to do what we need to. We're going to do what we need to do. We're a good fucking team, and everybody in the world saw that again tonight. Not just last season. They saw it again tonight. How good we are when we can just hone in and play fucking football. But oh man, that hurt. I ain't gonna lie. That hurt. Whoa, that hurt.
Punch in the gut.
All right, man. Corey, we're just going to wrap it up. Thanks for calling in. You're going to be our last live caller for a while.
Thanks, guys.
Why don't
Appreciate
you
it.
go ahead and got some wise words for Bucs fans as they lick their wounds and
Hey,
wait for free agency?
last year was only the beginning of a turnaround for this franchise. Guys, don't panic. We just had the best season besides the best regular season Tampa Bay football history for a reason. Relax. Let's heal up. And plus, I heard Wirfs had torn ligaments, so he wasn't coming back anyway. It was going to be tough to play without him. We saw that shit today.
Yeah.
Let's get healthy. Let's understand what this felt like. And let's get ready for some Buccaneer football this spring, guys. Just stay excited, stay humble, stay hungry. And we're going to be back.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
Corey had some cursey drinks.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. All right. So as I was saying, yes, I am calling this season a failure.
Sure.
But I look at failures as learning experiences. You're not going to be able to. One team succeeds every year, in my mind, in the NFL. The team that wins the Super Bowl is the team that truly succeeds, because all 32 teams at the beginning of the year, their number one goal is to win the Super Bowl. Only one team can do that over the course of the year. That is success. That is the ultimate success. And while there was not ultimate success and there was failure of that, it is still a learning experience for me. And so I think that hopefully the guys that are going to be on the team next year will learn from this experience and realize that they can't fall down 27-3 and expect to come back every game. That and that there are going to be pieces that are going to be lost. There are going to be pieces that are going to be gained, and we're going to see what the 2022 Bucs will bring us. So.
Yeah, I'm just going to sort of stick to what I said at the beginning about this game, because I think it's sort of a thread that you can do throughout. And this is assuming that Bowles and Leftwich come back. The slow to adjust your game plan, especially with Bowles, not his slowness, but his game plan coming out is seldom correct. Like, teams get the ball and drive down the field and score on us way more than they should. So that's really all I got, is that, I would just like better game plans coming out the gate, and when they're wrong, just a little quicker, more adjustments. But I think it's going to be fun this offseason. I absolutely think Chris Godwin's coming back, but we have a lot of question marks with Kappa and Jensen, OJ Howard, of course. But if Brady goes, then Gronk goes, then all of a sudden you need OJ Howard again. Running back, is Fournette's going to stay? Is Ronald Jones going to stay? Is Bernard going to stay? You know, there's Vaughn still there. Wide receivers, you know, I don't think that Tyler Johnson stepped up enough. I really thought he was going to sort of like fill in this gap, and by the end of this playoff run or Super Bowl run, whatever you want to call it, that people would feel really comfortable with Tyler Johnson, and I think it went the other way. But then there's Scotty Miller there, you know, Jalen Darden, who knows? Excuse me. And, you know, the defense, Vita Vea is a monster. We'll see with Sue. There's just so many questions that I don't want to go through the whole thing, and I almost did. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of questions. You know, Jason Light already has a plan. They already know they're going to attack it. They already knew how they're going to attack it halfway through this season. But it all hinges on the Tom Brady, you know, question. And but don't get caught up on that. You want to watch sort of what's going on all the way. I'm proud of the team. You know, they really were against it. They weren't playing well offensively or defensively. They found, even though, you know, it was fumbles and the Rams were kind of doing it to themselves, but they found a way to get there and make it close. And as a few people have said on this who've been longer, you know, sort of longer Bucs fans, we've seen games where it goes south early and then it just ends up, it's like 48-10. You know, and it's just a blowout, and we're talking about, you know, next week, you know, halfway through the second quarter. You know, you're looking at the schedule. Oh, who we got next week? What's going on? Oh, you know, play this guy, get him some experience. So, you know, failure season, winning season, whatever. I want to sort of echo the sentiments that Corey said, but it all really hinges on Tom Brady. I'm not going to be that, you know, like this franchise turned around. The coaching's good, but I don't know, you know, if Brady goes away and some of these free agents, you know, don't end up signing, you know, along the defensive line, the offensive line, like we'll see what Blaine Gabbert can do, and especially if there's a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. So, but it'll give us a lot more stuff to talk about.
That's very true.
You know, instead of just like, oh, you lost 9-0 to the Saints. Okay, well, the defense can't yell at them. Not going to yell at Brady. Not going to yell at Gronk. All right, good show, everybody. Thanks a lot. Like, what do? You're just like, week-to-week league. See you next week. So, anyway, that's what I got. It's all right, and go ahead and give the Renediction.
Go for it, my friend. Where do they find you?
Best place to find me is on Twitter, @ThePeterCast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if you feel like your tweet is too hot, or the subject of the tweet is too hot, you don't want to put it there on the Twitter sphere, feel free to slide my DMs, and I will talk Buccaneers football with you there as well. Also, too. #.com.
You can find me. I'm at Steve Carney, stpnight.com for Rays stuff. Let's hope we have spring.
How's the strike looking?
Well, it looks like the players.
I was just kidding.
Players are going to give their first counter proposal on Monday to the league. They're going to be face-to-face Monday in Manhattan. I still think that we are at least a couple of weeks away from any sort of resolution. I've talked to some people that think it may be closer to a month.
Right.
I still think we're probably 2 weeks or so away from there actually being a resolution.
All right.
So we'll see what happens. Thank you to everybody that joined us here on these Sundays live and throughout the week when we had those opportunities as well. Thank you to our major sponsor, of course, BetUS.com. Thank you to the Fansided Network for hosting the show. If you're watching the show on YouTube, hit that like button, the subscribe, leave us a comment. Also, if you're listening on the podcast platforms, give us a rating and a review. And until next time, whenever that'll be, because let's face it, we don't have to do next week. We don't want to, but we might.
Well, we're not. No, we are not doing next week. What are we going to do?
So until the off season fully gets underway, go buck yourself.